Hey everybody, Gordon here from Images of Eden again with another Q&A session. We have a really cool question this week from a very close friend of mine who is another vocalist that I highly admire, Brenda Robinson from the band Anatomy of the Sacred. Very, very cool band. Great vocalist, great band, everything. Check them out if you haven't heard them yet. And she writes to me from one vocalist to another. What is your method for remembering lyrics in preparation for live performances? I ask because I'm terrified of not remembering lyrics during a live performance, largely due to forgetting the second verse to a song at a live performance in front of an audience of about 10,000 people back in 2009. This is really cool because I don't think when I was trying to kind of dig for an answer to this question, I don't have an answer specifically for remembering lyrics. I think this is more of an anxiety kind of a situation rather than remembering lyrics because I have my own, anxiety before I go on stage. I don't have any problems remembering lyrics, although I do have to kind of make myself a couple of notes just because I tweak really little things, and each line is like slightly different in a couple of songs. But my big thing from anxiety, and I know anxiety can kind of cause us to either forget lyrics, to choke up, on stage, or just to really have any kind of adverse effect. I have a friend that is a drummer. He throws up before every show, and I'm glad I don't have that problem because that wouldn't be good. My issue actually is breathing. I don't have a problem remembering lyrics, but when I go out on stage, the very first thing that goes when I have anxiety is my breathing. And instead of breathing correctly and just belting it out, I tend to just lean into it and kind of like throw it out, which from a visual perspective kind of helps, but it doesn't really help from really nailing the vocals. And I've seen you live plenty of times, and you're like album perfect when I've seen you sing. So as far as forgetting lyrics, I would chalk that up to an anxiety thing. And I've done it. I've put myself cheat sheet notes on the ground before, and I just kind of lean into it and look down and act like I'm not looking at it, but I am. But doesn't happen that often. But yeah, like I said, with me, I'd get out there and I wouldn't be pushing from the bottom. I would be relaxing my stomach, and I would have to just lay into it more. And thankfully, I got a wrangle on that though. Before we went to Mexico, I really kind of internalized and said, okay, I've got to fix this thing. I can't just keep going out and doing the same thing that I'm doing. Now, it did help. I should say it did help extremely because there were a couple of notes that I had a hard time hitting just simply because I didn't give it enough push. The scream at the in the middle of Fight the Good Fight and at the end of Count to Zero on our U.S. tour last year, I just couldn't nail them because I'd had bad habits and anxiety was throwing off my breathing. But when we got to Europe, I had corrected that problem. But I really focused on getting in the gym and getting abs, doing abs and getting them tight. And so when we went to Mexico, it was great. I had no problems at all. But I have no cure for anxiety. It's something I've had the first time I've ever gone out on stage, and it is something that I had the last time I've gone out on stage. I don't think there is a magic cure for anxiety. Matter of fact, I think it's better that we do have some anxiety because somebody told me early on, he said, if you have anxiety, it's just enough to kind of get your needle a little bit slightly in the red to where you're really going to give it your all. And I was also told by someone else that you should start getting nervous when you're not getting nervous. And that was very, very true. I think there was one time early on I was just like, whatever, got out on stage, and I kind of gave a subpar performance, and I thought, well, I can't do that. I don't know why or how that happened, but it did. But I mean, I don't drink or do any drugs, so when I go out on stage, it's the same regular anxiety. I don't have anything that can mask that. So it is what it is, and I think it's just something that we have to kind of deal with. Seeing you live, you would never know that you had any anxiety. So if if you're wondering whether or not you're hiding it, you're doing very well. So hope that answers your question. And Brenda, thank you so much for chiming in. It was awesome to hear from you. And if anybody's got any questions, definitely hit us up, promo@imagesofeden.com. Make sure you like our YouTube channel, or subscribe, something like that. You know what to do. Anyway, hope all's well. Love you guys. Talk to you later.